Aeroponic Tower channel. Welcome to fall, borderline winter. It's getting really cold tonight. We're going to be in the mid 30s. Not freezing yet, but we are quickly approaching our first frost date, and it seems like it's going to turn pretty quick. So I have this tower, and if you have one tower, don't ever do this. I always recommend interval planting and staying on top of your towers, but I have 9, and this tower needed a full reset because I'm going to switch it over to cauliflower, broccoli, edamame, and some other things. So I just let it kind of get unruly and wild because I've been a little busy, but we're gonna pull all of this out, salvage what we want to, because there are some plants in here that are actually still young that are in great condition. I want to make sure we save those and put them back into this tower or into another tower, and then I let a lot of this just get really big for the chickens, because as it flowers, plants will really expand wide, and this is just really good chicken food. So let's start just pulling things out, and we'll talk a little bit about it as we go. And because this tower is pretty overgrown, I'm gonna just cut a lot of things, and then when I take it apart, we're gonna soak it in this black bin. I've got some things to do today with my husband. We're gonna have a little date day, and I'm just gonna let it soak while we're gone, and then I'll be able to put it back together tonight and get it loaded up. A lot of this I'm going to juice, so anything I'm gonna juice, I'm gonna put in this tub and soak those things in water. Green juice is really crucial for my health and wellness, and I haven't been juicing lately, and I just feel it, especially with the seasons changing. So getting back on a juicing schedule is top priority. This tower has a baby greens extension kit on it, and I use that extension kit, this particular one actually, for a lot of my juicing greens. So we need to get this back in business ASAP. These buckets, this is what will go to the chickens, and I put, you're gonna see me put the net pots and the roots directly in here. I let the chickens clean out my net pots, and then I can go back in a couple of weeks, and they'll just be scattered around the chicken coop. They will eat everything and do all the hard labor for me of getting those roots out, especially because some of these are so overgrown and big. So let's get started. Gorgeous, and because it's cold, it'll be nice and sweet. And this is all, anything brown, I'm just gonna toss into the chicken bucket. Here I have a beet, it's been neglected. It would continue to grow if I moved it, but I'm gonna go ahead and just use that. I have lots of beets. We've got lots of basil going on, so anything healthy looking, again, is going to go in my bucket. Chickens are going to have a good day. I'm going to have a good day. We've got a pepper plant here. This hasn't even started to fruit. That's some good chicken food. And this is calendula that's gone to seed. Sorry, the lighting's gonna be crazy out here today. And they look like this. And these are all seed pods. I'm just gonna toss these into my permaculture landscaping and let them reseed themselves. This one right here is a great example. Those are the calendula seeds. They look like little alien creatures. So I'm gonna just toss these into my garden, and I'll save a handful or two for growing this next year. right, we have squash plants, and I have some squash. I'm not going to salvage these. I have healthier squash growing that's already starting to fruit. I am going to eat these little small ones. And we've got a couple of small ones down here. And the rest to the chickens. Tomatoes to the chickens. This basil is growing out of my baby greens extension. So don't underestimate what you can grow. This is Mizuna. It's a mustard, a superfood. And I want some of it for me. It's going to flower. It's flowering, it's going to seed, so I'll just give most of that to the chickens. That's my chamomile. It's done. Like I said, don't do this at home. This tower is a mess. I've actually never had a tower be this messy, especially like down here. So here I have some jalapenos, and I'm using these to make sriracha because you use the red jalapenos for that. Oh. We will definitely harvest all of our red jalapenos. But I have lots of younger, healthier jalapeno plants, so I don't need this to, I don't need to try and salvage this. But actually, you can see how quickly this process goes. It's really not that bad. Most of the cleaning, I'll just soak it in this bin once I clear that out with the chickens. Alright, so we have a young eggplant here, and I definitely want to salvage this one. Very immature root system. I'm going to soak this one a little bit and give it a good cleaning in another basin. But we're going to keep that. We have a young parsley. We're definitely going to keep that. Another massive basil in a baby green section. Happy chickens. These are leeks. Look at those gorgeous roots. Or these are green onions actually, not leeks. I'm going to eat these. I have a meal I'm making today. Okay, this is a Italian parsley. It's mature. I'm not going to salvage this one, but this is amazing for tabbouleh, and I want to make some tabbouleh tonight. So we're going to keep this one on the roots and put it with the onions. Both of those will be in my tabbouleh tonight. And another young parsley, and I'm actually really low on parsley plants right now, so you can see it's still, even if you neglect your towers, this one's been neglected for like 3 months, still has food. Everything's still been, you know, staying nice. It's still made squash. So we've got 3 young plants, 2 parsley, 1 eggplant that I'm going to salvage. I've got some parsley, green onions to make tabbouleh, And I got some squash and some red peppers. And we're gonna take this apart. Chickens get a feast. This has fed us tomatoes, peppers, so much food all summer. But it's time to shift this into winter crops and crops that are gonna grow in the garage. Hey guys, so it's later in the day and I didn't get enough greens off that tower when I was cleaning it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and harvest some things off my home tower. I'll link below where I put this tower together just 3 weeks ago. And look at the growth already. We have Chinese cabbage and so much food on here, just going crazy. But these are Mabuna and I seeded these very heavily as baby greens. And I'm gonna go ahead and harvest these. Mabuna is in the mustard family, very nutrient dense, very mild tasting when you eat it young, even when you eat it old too, especially in this cooler weather. So much flavor. And I like to juice these, so I grow them specifically in these little bundles to juice because they give you a lot of greens for just pennies. So we're gonna add this to our basket. I have my parsley that I wanna put in this tower. And I was also able to harvest some root vegetables, some turnips, a whole basket full of peppers. I have these black, dark purple peppers, green peppers, and I am preparing some food to put away in the freezer for the winter. So I just have some quick meals that I can pull out when we need them. And so I'm going to get these in this tower and see if there's anything else that I want to harvest, because I have a couple of young seedlings that I want to put in this tower as well. Oh, that parsley is so beautiful, and it will be so much happier here now that it's not crowded in that really messy overgrown tower. So down here I have some celery, highly abused starts. They got kind of trampled and rained on, but I can still salvage them. These are beets. There's 2 beets in here and then 2 celeries, and I want to make sure these are growing because these are important for our diet. Okay, this is some baby greens that I've been eating off of and just looks a little messy. So we will add those to our juice. I've already sort of abused and abused those. That's why I don't like to harvest off my lettuce. I like to just harvest the whole head of lettuce. I think it's so much prettier. And that one was on a clip. And we're gonna put our beets on this clip because I have found root vegetables do really great on the clips. All right, and here's another lettuce that didn't do so well. So this is starting to make this long stem, which means it's trying to go to flower. This is not going to turn into a gorgeous head of lettuce like I want. What happened is we just had this weird day where we went into the 90s. It was actually like 3 days in a row. And I think because I had abused some of these starts, they were outside for a really long time. When I got into the tower, it was just like, make seeds, save life. So I'm just gonna pull that out. If you see that, you're not gonna end up getting a beautiful head of lettuce like some of the ones up here that are taking shape and really great shapes. So my advice is pull those and start over. So let's look for anything else. All right, I found another Mabuna. And when they get this long, it's time, because then they're gonna start to turn into just giant plants. So we will juice that one and put our celery back here. All right, so not a bad harvest. Lots of greens for green juice, at least 15 or more peppers, and some beautiful turnips. And I am going to turn all this food into a couple of different recipes. The one you're going to see me make here is a Thai red vegetable curry dish. It's super hearty with a little spice and so delicious. And if you're interested in how I made that, I will put that in the description below. I don't actually have a recipe, but I can just explain what I do when I make my Thai red curry dishes. And I also juiced the greens that I harvested, but that video footage disappeared somehow. So I don't have any green juice to show you guys, but I do have another video coming out really soon where I talk about my juicer of choice and where I do a big juice haul. Hey guys, so it's many days later. Just got busy with other things, but I did get the tower put back together. I got it cleaned. It looks so good. This tower is a flex, and I have a baby greens extension kit on here. And I did edamame on the bottom, and these will have to go in the garage pretty soon because they're a warm weather crop. And they're just for snacking on edamame, one of my favorite foods. And then I've got my broccoli and cauliflower. I had hoped to get these broccoli and cauliflower in here over a month ago so that we could get nice broccoli and cauliflower heads before going into the garage. That didn't happen, so I'm not sure if these will turn into, broccoli doesn't do super great indoors. Very, very slow. It takes a ridiculous amount of time and doesn't really get that grocery store kind of broccoli we're going for. So worst case, I'll just use it for my juicing and juice the leaves if it looks like it's just going to get gigantic and take forever. Again, I was hoping I would have time to get a fall crop out of those, and I'm not sure if we will. We're getting cold really fast. But that's what those are. They won't go to waste. We still make food out of them. So regardless, it's just going to be a bunch of amazing greens that we get to juice or make greens with. And then up on the top, I went ahead and put my green beans. I just thought it'd be fun to have my green beans on the top. They get kind of bushy and can trail down in between some of these smaller pots. In here, I've fallen behind on my seeds starting. I always say to stay on top of your seeds starting. For me, it's about every 2 weeks, and I've gone about a month. And so I don't have all the seedlings I need to fill this. We're not getting a lot of rain right now, so I'm not super worried about it. You don't want light and things getting in your tank. So you do want to get these covered as soon as possible, but I have to go out of town, and I'm going to put what I have in here, and then when I get back, we'll deal with it because I do have some started at this point. These are also younger than I like to put in my tower. I often talk about waiting until your plants are the right size when they have roots on all 4 sides, plus the bottom, and more substantial size leaves, definitely like an inch bigger than this. But these are going to be safer. And the reason is it can stunt their growth. They're going to get a ton of water. And I found that at this size, they just go there and they sit and do nothing for a week. And then they'll kind of get the hang of all the water and the roots will get established and they'll start to grow. If I do that on my grow station, then it allows me to have food in here growing while these are getting ready to go in. And then when I put these in, I get to harvest this food, and these grow super fast. When they have roots on all 4 sides and they are the right size, they just take off when you put them in the tower. But I don't have starts to go in, and these are going to be safer going through a state of adjustment in the tower than they will be if I just leave them on the rim and disappear for a few days, because I'm going to be gone for about 4 days, and if we get a heavy rain, something like that, it can just really cause some damage to them. So I'm going to put them on, they can flood is why there's not drain ports on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and put these in, and at least that way we know they're safe. One trick is you can set them out a little bit. So instead of pushing them all the way down, I kind of leave the rock wool hanging out of the top. That helps to keep them from getting super waterlogged when they're still tiny like this. And these are so beautiful. This is just a baby greens blend from True Leaf. I use sprouting seeds when I'm doing this because I'm using like as many as 70 seeds because these are going to keep growing. I talk about that in my course. These grow fast and you can harvest off of them and they'll continue to sprout the underlayer of them, so you get baby greens for a longer period of time and you get them really quickly when you seed them like this. right, and thanks for joining me on this kind of hodgepodge of a vlog style day in the life of a tower gardener. You can hear the towers on. It looks so pretty when they're cleaned up. Sometimes your towers can get overwhelming when they're dirty. This one still needs to be cleaned out, and I just haven't had time, and I'm not going to be using that tower for a while, so haven't worried about it. But once you can get that chore done and just get everything growing in there, this is so much food and so much abundance. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'll see you on the next video.